All right, so here we go. So 9-6, factoring trinomials of the type ax squared plus bx plus c. And this is just saying a, b, and c are going to be numbers. So again, I mean, this is just a, b, and c are going to be just numbers. So 2x squared plus 3x squared plus 10, for instance. All right? So when we factoring these, this is getting a little heavier. It's going to be very important to keep order to what you're doing. Now, it's the same. You start out the same exact way. You're going to take this 7 factors of 7, 1 and 7. 7's prime, so it's just 1 and 7, which is always nice when you come up with that. So then, not only do you have to worry about that 7, but now you have to worry about this 2. You need to write the factors of 2, 1 and 2. Make your parentheses, because that's going to be there. Now, notice right here, 2x squared. 2 times 1, 2 is technically prime. It's the only even prime. So 1 and 2 are the only ways you can get 2. You know this is going to be x, and this is going to be 2x. Now, you could flip-flop those. It doesn't matter. Now, your goal here, you have to look at the combination here that you have. Right here, you have to look at this combination, 1, 2, 1, and 7. So 1 and 7 are the factors of 7, and 1 and 2 are the factors of 2. Now, you have to come up with a combination to get this middle number. So you need to multiply these and subtract them. Notice, if I go 2 times 7, which is 14, and then 1 times 1, which gives me 1, and I add those together, I get the 15, right? So now, I multiplied 2 times 7, so this 2 right here, when I multiply it out, when I factor, okay, bam, right here, here's where the 7 is going to go. It's going to be a plus 7. Because when you're factoring things, you have to think about, okay, what do I multiply together? I take this first x here, and I multiply it all the way to the end, so all of the outer stuff, and then x times 2x, so factor that out, and then 7 times 2x, which will give me 14, which will give me that 14 I want, and then plus 1, because I'm wanting that x, the 1 times 1. See on these outside, this is technically a 1. I want that 1 times 1. So again, I'll kind of rewrite this. So I have x plus 7, 2x plus 1. So I'm looking for a combination that will give me that 15 in the middle. Now here's where it's going to become very detrimental that you check your answers, because I guarantee you, you may flip the 7 and 1, for instance, in this factoring. So, and it's very common to do that. So you need to be very, very, very careful. So we multiply this out. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1 is plus x plus 1x. You don't need to write the 1. And then 7 times 2x is plus 14x. And 7 times 1 is plus 7. 2x squared plus 15x plus 7. Check. Good. This is my answer right here. Okay? That extra step there is just you're checking your work. And all this stuff up here is kind of all my scratch work. I'm basically going, okay, what in the world is going to get me that 15 in the middle? Now, obviously, it's going to get tougher when you add more factors in there. But that's the basic principle of what you're doing. I mean, you're seeing combinations of things, and it can get tough. I'm not saying it doesn't. All right, so here we go. Factors of 3. 1 and 3. That's nice. 3 is prime. So 11, factors of 11. 1 and 11. Great. So let's find something that will equal negative 14. So let's see. 3 times 0 using 33. What if we just took and multiplied 11 times 1 which gives me 11. And then 1 times 3 gives me 3. But if these are both negatives, right? So let's make, this a negative 3, for instance. And let's make this a positive 1. Let's make this a negative 1. So because in the end, you want it to be negative 1 times negative 3. That'll give you a positive 3. So you're looking at a lot of stuff coming into play here. You have to think a lot about the whole idea of factoring and multiplying binomials. So make your parentheses. So I know right from the get-go I can have 11x times x because that gives me this x, 11x squared. So that's an easy one to check because 11x times x is 11x squared. Bam, I know that's going to be right. Now, I just have to get a combination here that will give me what I want, the positive 3 in the end, negative 14. Now, at the very end, right here in this last position, I'm going to take this 11 and multiply it all the way over here, so I don't want that 3 there because that would give me 33. That's way too high of a number. That's going to throw me way out. So I need this to be the 1, this to be the 3. Now I've decided it needs to be a positive 3. So minus 3 minus 1 will give me, so when I multiply this, I get a positive 3. So now once you have things in place, meaning you have 11x minus 3 times x minus 1, you have all those positions filled, 4 positions, bam, you multiply it out, see what you get. So 11x times x is 11x squared, and we kind of figured we'd get that right, and that was the first one. And then 11x times negative 1 is a negative 11x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. And then combine what I can, so I can combine these. So I have 11x squared minus 14x plus 3. Now, a lot of times, check, done, great. Now, a lot of times in math, there's nice little shortcuts, or there's little, things I tell you that, this makes it really easy. Just do this. Well, unfortunately, for factoring, there's just no quick, easy way to do this. You need to, in your own head, go, okay, the combination over here, the combination right here, what can I get to get that middle, that 14? What can I do with all those 4 numbers to the right there to get that negative 14? And once you figure it out, great, because then you just put it in here, in your factorization here, and multiply it out and see what you get. Now, I'm guaranteeing you on these, you need to double check your work. You need to multiply these together and check. You better have this check. If you don't have that check, I would say 60% of the time you're going to get it wrong. And not necessarily, really, really wrong, but you may just have a sign messed up. Or you may have this 3 and 1 flip-flop. So you may have 11x minus 1 times x minus 3. If you have those flip-flops, you're wrong. You are wrong. I'm going to mark that 100% wrong on the test, quiz, anything I get from you. You need to make sure you double check. I can't express that enough. On a lot of these problems we've been doing in the other sections, you've been able to almost do it in your head and multiply it out, and so you don't really, the other ones, it was really easy to check your work, or you didn't even need to check because you knew it was going to come out right. On these, it's a lot harder to be able to visualize whether it's going to come out right or wrong. And I guarantee you, even today, even at college level, if I come up with something in like this, and I'm factoring, I always check my work. Okay? Or if I have a good enough calculator, I'll just hit factor, and then it'll just factor it for you. But but you guys are learning the concept of factoring, so you're not going to do that, and you probably don't know how to use that technology anyways. So, which is good. So 27. So now let's get into some things that are not prime. So 27, 1 and 27, 2, 3 times 9. Now I'm getting into some different sets of factors here. 7, 1 and 7, that's it. And so you need to come up with a combination here that will get you this negative 30. You're looking for a combination that will get you negative 30. And if you want, you can even put a line. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Put a line between them to separate the different factors. So, you know you have to, in your parentheses, have an x and a 7x. This x times 7x gives you 7x squared. So you know that, bam, put it in there, get it done with, and then we'll figure out the last two positions there. All right, let's look at this thing. So if 27, that's a really high number. That's really close to 30. So can we add 27 and 7? Because if you go 27 times 1, for instance, you're going to get 27, and you go 7 times 1, 27 plus 7, that's too high. That's 34. So let's look at combination here. If I go 7 times 3, that gives me 21, and then 9 times 1. Good. That's nice. So here we go. Right here, here's my little thing I'm going to multiply together. Nice. So, okay. Now, if you can't visualize that, just stick with me here. If I go 7 times 3, that gives me 21. And then 1 times 9 gives me 9. If I add these together, and I want a negative 31, so if these are both negative, negative 21 times, plus negative 9 gives me negative 30. So now I need to add this combination here of numbers I have and put them in here. So 7, I'm multiplying it with the 3. So, okay, right there. So I'm going to put this negative 3 and then negative 9. Now, the reason I chose negative and the reason I chose, so the 9, so for instance, so x times 7x gives me 7x squared. And then right here, I wanted this 21. Negative 3 times 7x gives me negative 21. Negative 3 times negative 9 gives me that positive 27. So I just kind of looked at key things. I looked at these signs and said, okay, they both need to be negative because that's a positive. So that really helped me out here. So I have x minus 3 times 7x minus 9. Do not square that as your answer. We need to double check what's going on. Do not square that as your answer. I mean, I know you guys get really excited when you get stuff in there that you think might work, and then you just go, yep, bam, that's got to work, I'm done. And you square it and you don't even check. You need to check. So let's check this out. I'm going to switch to red here. So x times 7x is 7x squared. X times negative 9 is negative 9x. And then negative 3, sorry, I got a lot of lines going on here, but stick with me. Negative 3 times 7x gives me negative 21x. Negative 3 times 9, I'm just distributing here, same as I always do. Negative 3 times negative 9 gives me positive 27. Combine these two, what I can, so 7x squared. Negative 9 plus negative 21 is negative 30x. And then last but not least, the plus 27. Check. That's what I started out with. Now go back and put a little box around your answer. That's your answer. Okay? So your answer is x minus 3 times 7x minus 9. Now